Time to start crafting the most perfect review. Huh. I need to stop drinking.
So, let's get this out of the way. The game is pretty mediocre. It takes place in a classical time period by the way that the furniture looks and how the house feels. However, if the game takes place in the past, how come Nunavut's a province? Come on, guys, Nunavut wasn't formed until 2003. Logical fallacy. Anyways, stupid complaints aside, let's introduce our main characters. Mr. Scratchy, an artist, who you later find out is also an alcoholic. Scratch off cliche number 1, please. Anyways, it's made it more difficult for him to complete his masterpiece painting, which is a pretty standard setup, but hey, I mean, it's better than most indie horror games nowadays. Something working in favor of this game is just how beautiful the house is. It turns into this nightmarishly impossible labyrinth built only by the mind of a mentally ill schizophrenic artist. Doorways appear out of nowhere, hallways materialize behind you. The effects are pulled off really well. At first. They're overused and start to feel like a gimmick, especially in the presence of all the stereotypes. Creepy dolls, hidden keys, long hallways, balls randomly moving, scribbles on walls, laughing babies, twitching mothers, shifting hallways, assortment of papers, giving backstory to a terrible event that happened to the main character. Holy shit, that's a lot of cliches. Oh yeah, and here's the biggest issue. There's no threat. None at all. I walked through the whole game without ever being attacked, not even once. Whenever I saw Satan's abortion, I just turned around and walked the other way. Guess what? Having common sense gets you not killed. So I thought this was a little messed up and wanted to see what happens if you actually ran into her. And what do you know? It got all dark, she became really twitchy and you could only see her face. It was honestly pretty creepy. If you didn't see it coming. You literally look at her and then you walk into her. There's no place where she jumps out and tries to scare you or chase after you or anything. She's just standing there and you can make the conscious decision to just not walk into her. And what do you know? She doesn't scare you. So, what happens when you die? Well, death in this game is basically a speedrunning strat. Yeah, I know, pretty weird. It projects you farther in the game than when you died. You wake up in the middle of nowhere, you walk 2 or 3 rooms, and then you're back at your paint room, which is basically the whole point of the game. So yeah, that's a thing. Honestly, I don't really know who this game was built for. It wasn't built for people who like horror games, and it wasn't built for people who like story games. And you may be sitting there being like, hey Indy, you just don't understand it. No, I do. It may have a story, but it's a very cliched story and it's not very good. Basically, how you find out more about the story is you look around the house and you pick up little scraps of paper, which you have text to read. And then these little items that you pick up, I think there's like about 8 of them. And then these 8 items, when you pick it up, prompts a blog of dialogue that the character actually speaks. And it was definitely miscast. This character is extremely unbelievable in the position that he's currently in. This game has a strange fascination with little dolls. While at some points they are a little bit creepy, there was this one point in the game that literally had me on the floor dying laughing. I thought the game pulled the old switcheroo from mediocre horror game to slightly above average comedy game. Not once did I ever feel that creepy presence in the world. You know that one from Amnesia or Soma that constantly has you checking around, looking over your shoulder, making sure something isn't silently stalking you? Nah, not in this game. Basically, you just strap into your chair for a little bit, sit on this on-rail story game that, mind you, will not be played a second time, and let the game play out. All the game needed were some minor inputs from your keyboard. You don't even need to use a mouse. The game has no immediate reactions. You could WASD your way to victory, if you even want to call it a victory. For me, I call it a mediocre ending to a mediocre game, and I give this game a 6 out of 10. It's a slightly above average horror game, considering all the crap that we have now. I just didn't feel threatened. Sure, it was scary at the start of the game, but as soon as I realized that there was nothing to fear and literally nothing could kill me, I lost all interest. I just didn't care. The game became a walk around an excellently designed map, and that was about it. Oh, and get ready for cliche number 12. The ending that's not really the ending. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. Make sure to check back in 1 week for the next installment of The Indie Critic. Thanks for watching. So, let's get this out of the way. The game's pretty mediocre. My hair is fucking garbage and it's flopping all over the place because it doesn't have enough gel in it. Because it's fucking retarded. Alright. So, let's get this out of the way. The game seems pretty mediocre. It takes place in a classical time period with the way that the furniture looks and how the hells feel. The hells are pretty hellish. So, you know that it takes place in the future. So, let's get this out of the way. The game's pretty mediocre. It takes place in some classical time period with the way that the furniture looks and how the house feels. However, you, Mr. Crucial Detail, fellow devs. My hair is the crucial detail. You, Mr. Crucial Detail. You, Mr. Crucial Detail. My hair is so bad.